Good morning, everyone. This is Ian, the virtual reality ginger, and it is way too fucking early to be recording this video. It's just past 7 a.m. where I am, but I guess that's fine. Today, we are going to talk about all of the Oculus Ready PCs and stack them up side by side against one another. Going to take a change of pace. Instead of seeing my beautiful pale skin and my flowing red locks, you're going to see my computer screen, which most of you are probably pretty relieved about. I can summarize this entire video, and if you can trust an internet stranger, unless we know each other, in which case, hi, and I hope you're doing well. But the odds are that you have no idea who I am. And as you watch this video, I can save you the next probably 5-6 minutes by just telling you the moral of the story is don't get fucked by Alienware. Period. Don't buy an Alienware computer. I'll support that throughout this video if that gets you curious. A lot of you are probably nodding your heads and going, yeah, don't buy an Alienware computer, in which case you already know a lot of what I'm going to share. But today I'm going to stack each one of these Oculus Ready PCs up side by side and tell you which one you should buy if you are going to buy an Oculus Ready PC. If you already know you aren't going to build your own PC, someone needs to tell you which of these computers are bogus and which ones are actually a decent deal, okay? That's what we're talking about in today's video. Okay, here we are at Amazon's landing page for all of the Oculus Rift bundles, all right? There's a link to this page in this video's description. If you don't know where it is, or I don't know how someone doesn't know how to get to this page. If you don't have fingers or something, you can just use your nub to click the link and you would be taken to this page. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this page. I just wanted to show you where I pulled this initial graphic from. This is the graphic comparing all of the computers, but it's not really intuitive. It's not actually very helpful because they're segregated. You have your Asus or Asus or I don't know. I'm not Taiwanese. I'm going to say it probably about 8 different ways by the end of this video, okay? So you have your Asus computers over here, and you have your Dell computers over here. Alienware is a Dell computer. If you didn't know that already, I think that's pretty common knowledge now. If you didn't know that already, I'm sorry to just destroy your innocence, but you should know when you buy an Alienware computer, you're buying a Dell. Simple as that, okay? So you have all of your Asus computers over here, all of your Alienware Dell computers over here, and you can't really see them side by side. The prices jump a lot. You got $14.99, then you got $21.99, then you got $15.99. It just doesn't, it's not very intuitive. So what I did was I pulled this graphic into Photoshop and I edited it. I rearranged it so that the basically the price is ascending because it's much easier to see the value proposition here as you see the ones that are similarly priced right next to one another. And I also added the Alienware. I went into Photoshop and added all of these different text, different text, looked up the stats so that you could see this side by side as well. And this is, yeah, I'll get to it in a bit, but this aggravates me. And so you guys are going to see me get full-on ginger pissed today. That's a whole different level of angry. If you don't know ginger pissed, you don't know angry at all, okay? So we're going to start down here at the low end with the most reasonably priced computer of the Oculus Ready PCs, and that's the Asus G11CD-WS51. Okay, this one is with the Rift, so this is the bundle price across the board. So the most affordable option is the $1,499 Asus. And what I want to point out mainly here is if you look at the Asus, that's $1,499, and you look at the Dell XPS and the Alienware X51 i5 with 8 gigabytes of RAM, the Asus really stands out, and I'll tell you why. You've got the $1,500 Asus, and these are both an extra $100. But when you look down at the spec list, and you can see them all side by side, you've got the same core components. You've got Windows 10 Home in all of them. You've got Intel Core i5-6400, exact same processor across all three. You got the exact same graphics card, the GTX 970, which is the minimum that Oculus recommends. You've got the exact same amount of RAM, and you have the exact same hard drive, except this one's $100 cheaper, and both of these are $100 more expensive. I don't get it. If you are watching this video and you know something I don't that justifies this $100 difference in price, for the love of God, please put it in the comments so that I can follow along and not be so angry all of the time. Because when I was putting this graphic together and I saw the way these line up, I was truly just pissed off, okay? So if you're looking for kind of the bare minimum, you're looking to spend as little money as possible, but you want a good Oculus Rift experience, you want to make sure your computer meets all of their specs, and you're going to buy an Oculus Ready PC, out of these base ones, the minimum level ones, by the Asus G11 CD WS51, okay? Because it's the exact same computer, at least as the core components. Yes, there are going to be some differences in some of the other pieces that are on board, but when you get down to the core components, the graphics card, the processor, things that really matter, it's the exact same computer, except it's $100 cheaper, okay? So that's for all of you that are looking to spend as little money as possible. For those of you that are looking to spend a little bit of extra money, but you want a better virtual reality experience, spoiler alert, we actually have to skip all of the way over to these, because these two have a lot of the same components, and ultimately, you're not going to get a much better virtual reality experience, but I'm going to talk about them as well. The reason I say you're not going to get a much better virtual reality experience is because they have the exact same processor. All 5 of these first computers have the exact same processor, the Intel i5-6400, and the exact same graphics card, the GTX 970, okay? And these are mainly the graphics card is what's going to determine how good of a VR experience you have. But when you get down to these, really the only difference is if you want a solid state drive, which is going to make your computer boot up faster, it's going to make your files respond faster, files open faster, then both of these have solid state drives. So that's the only real difference in the core components of these computers, these 3 versus these 2, is these ones have solid state drives, and they both have an extra 8 gigabytes of RAM. So if either of those things are important to you, these are your go-to purchase, okay? One of these two. And of the two, if we again look at the value proposition side by side, you've got the Asus, that's $1,949, and you've got the Alienware, that's $1,999. They're the exact same computer, same processor, same graphics card, same amount of RAM, except what the fuck? You get down here and Asus is giving you twice the size solid state drive, but Alienware is charging you an extra $50 over Asus. Doesn't make sense to me. And if I'm being totally, brutally honest, to jump from the $1,500 model to an extra $450 and just get an extra 8 gigs of RAM and a solid state drive instead of a 1 terabyte hard drive, I'm not sure that's a $450 justifiable jump. So know that too. But if a solid state drive is important to you and you want that extra 8 gigs of RAM, this Asus G20CB WS51 is your computer, okay? So far we have, if you want a basic computer, minimum specs, the Asus G11 CD WS51 is your computer. If you're going to buy an Oculus Ready, if you're not building your own. And if you get over here to the, you want a solid state drive and you want an extra 8 gigs of RAM, it's the Asus G20CB WS51. All right. I'm not biased towards Asus. I want to make that clear. I do like their products for the most part, but it's just when you look at the value prop, again, if you can correct me, if I'm just missing something and I'm just being an idiot right now, for the love of God, put it in the comments, okay? I want to know that I'm stupid. Just put it in the comments, all right? But when you look at the value prop all next to one another and you look at the core components and they're all the same, but then you've got these big pricing differences, I don't know what to tell you. For me, it's clear as day, all right? So where you actually get a big jump up and you're going to start getting a better virtual reality experience if you're buying an Oculus Ready PC is when you move up from these 5 to these 2. Here we finally see an upgrade in processor and an upgrade in graphics card. Okay, so instead of getting the i5-6400, here you're getting the i7-6700, and instead of getting the GTX 970, you're getting the GTX 980 in these options, okay? So you're getting a step up from the minimum recommended specs. That's going to allow you to have a higher frame rate, better rendering of graphics, stuff like that. That's actually going to improve your virtual reality experience. You'll notice a really big price difference between this $21.99 and this $31.49. And as far as I'm concerned, it's completely unjustifiable and it really pisses me off. Now, there are some perks to the Alienware Area 51 that I'm going to cover, but just right now, know that I am fucking furious about this price. And if I get a little heated, I apologize in advance. About to get ginger pissed because these are upsetting, but this is really fucking upsetting to me, okay? So if you look at the Asus G20CB WS71, which is actually the computer I bought, I know how to build my own computers, but I just didn't want to spend the time on it this time around. And I wanted a better than average virtual reality experience. I wanted a better than minimum virtual reality experience. So I sprang for the one with a slightly better graphics card and slightly better processor. Okay, so full disclosure there, I bought this computer, all right? Hate me for it if you want, because I didn't spend the time to build my own computer. What the fuck ever. I don't get why there's so much hate surrounding that. But I bought this one, and when you look at these two side by side, I don't know how you get this $950 difference. You've got the i7 6700 versus the i7 5820K. Okay, now there is a big difference in these two processors. This is a quad core processor, and this is a hexa-core processor, 6-core. Okay, but I want to show you these side by side. This is the i7 5820K. This is on PCPartPicker.com, go-to place for people that are building their own computers. And if you look at this 6-core processor, and you look at the price, but then you look at the quad-core processor that's in the Asus, they're the exact same fucking price. I don't get... So basically, I'm looking at this, and I'm going, okay, this justifies nothing in the $950 price difference, okay? So you look down here, and we keep going, and we go, okay, well, if it's not in the processor, where is that $950 price difference? Well, it's not in the graphics card because it's the exact same fucking graphics card. Well, it's not in the RAM either because they have the exact same amount of RAM. You get down here to the hard drive, and you go, oh, okay, no, this is where it is because I get a 2 terabyte hard drive instead of 1 terabyte hard drive. And if you think that way, I'm sorry, but you're wrong because here you're getting a 256 gigabyte solid state drive. Here you're getting a 128 gigabyte solid state drive. This is actually a more expensive storage setup than this, okay? So again, the $950, just set it on fire. Buy this one and set it on fire. If you like the way the computer looks, I guess that's worth an extra $950. Here's where someone could make an argument that the Alienware is actually, the Area 51 is actually worth the extra money. And I'm going to argue against it, just a heads up. The Alienware supports quad graphics cards, so you could stuff 4 GTX 980s in here, and I don't know, have maybe your virtual reality porn will come into your room and be in real life if you stack up quad GTX 980s. As far as I know, that does not happen. But if you want to, you can put up to 4 graphics cards in this computer. And in addition to that, you also can upgrade to 32 gigabytes of RAM, which studies have shown really, at least in today's technology, that once you go from 16 to 32, there's a big drop off in ROI. It's really not worth it. You can also put, I think it's up to 5 hard drives into the Area 51. So if you really want to stack up a ton of storage and you want to run, anywhere from 2 to 4 graphics cards for, some reason, and you're not building your own PC, I guess the Alienware Area 51 is somewhat worth the price. That's an extra $950. If you're going to do that, and if you're the type of person that wants to run quad graphics cards and you want 5 storage bays for your hard drives, you probably build your own computers, and you're going to get such better ROI. Okay, that's what everyone says about pre-built versus custom build when they're looking at these Oculus ready PCs. I understand that you're always going to get more for your money when you build your own, okay? But at least these stay somewhat close, okay? This Asus G11CD WS51 and the G20CB WS71, between buying the parts yourself and building it, the processor, the graphics card, all that stuff, there may be a couple $100 difference. But this one, you're paying like an extra $1,200 than if you built it yourself. At least these stay close. If you're attracted to the, running 4 different graphics cards and need 5 storage bays, just build your own fucking computer for the $2,550 that you're paying outside of the Oculus Rift for this computer. You can build a sick computer with all of this and the expansion capability and save money. It just does not make sense to me why they're charging an extra $950 from this to this. Again, if you know, please, for the love of God, tell me in the comments, but I just don't see it. All right. So basically what it boils down to is you've got 3 base options, 2 mid-level options that aren't a huge jump up, just solid state drive and RAM. And then you have 2, and really one of them should just be a big fuck you, because it's just not worth it. There's just nothing about it that's worth it. I'm telling you, I live around the corner from the main Dell headquarters, just north of Austin, their main campus, and I'm totally tempted to buy the Area 51, open it up, take a shit in it, and leave it on their doorstep, possibly on fire, because it's just so outrageous to me that they're charging that price. But then I can't do that, because then I'd have to come home and fucking file bankruptcy because it costs $3,149 for shit that's not worth buying. Okay? So, that's the moral of the story. I'm going to make this graphic available for you all on my website. You'll be able to see this, and the link will be in the video description, so you can go and look at this graphic and see it side by side and compare all this stuff, and send it to a friend or whatever the fuck you want to do with it. If you want to give me exposure, that's cool by me. But that's it. That's today's video. So basically, if you want a basic one, this is your computer. If you want a solid state drive and an extra 8 gigabytes of RAM, I'm not sure it's worth the extra $450, but this would be your buy of these two. And if you want a superior level gaming experience, you are absolutely going to get a better virtual reality experience in either of these computers, but I just don't see a justifiable $950 jump here. So this one is my top recommendation for those of you that are looking to buy a pre-built Oculus ready PC, but you want a better than base level virtual reality experience. My name again is Ian. I am the virtual reality ginger. I want to do everything I can to make virtual reality easy to understand and simple for everyone. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like it, or you want to see when I review a game or an app or whatever, or you're just disappointed because you didn't get to see my flowing locks in this video, please subscribe and you'll get notifications in the future when I make other videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you all in another video soon.